jungle definitely has had its power in other regions, and you want to counter to hard engage here, Melvin? You pick a Renata. The Aatrox is going to help out there as well. I think BLG have a good answer to what anyone's legend has. Very, very terrible. Obviously, there's enough pieces on AL's side in terms of DPS to make that not as much of an issue, but you still want to have a little bit of threat here. As speaking of threat, Kael going to actually flash to land a good headbutt into Knight and pull off an Uno reverse card. Tarzan goes in with a Cyclone, and that's first blood for anyone's legend. Thought that it was a good play for B tonight. Are able to make their way towards the grubs and pick up a very solid neutral objective.
I think they're going to be got the grubs. It was a really delayed trade of objectives across the map. Tarzan hoping he can kind of remedy his situation right now by stealing some camps away, but you know, this Aatrox clears pretty quick. The Shun has been a
little bit of a dash away from Knight, able to get out of that one unscathed. And now Shun and Tarzan will once again be contesting here around this topside scuttles. Tarzan does have the ultimate available once again, and so does Shun as he pops the World Ender. In he goes, not going to land that Q2, and now going to be forced to back away. Tarzan with the first part of the Cyclone does a lot of damage. Shanks dashes back over the wall, and Knight still awaiting to use the Emperor's Divide, finds it at a perfect moment to take Tarzan down. And that
yeah, it was a weird standoff where both mid supports were kind of look at each other, and Knight was the first one to blink.
And now, without having to use that Fate Seal, Shanks can go in and pick up a solo kill on tonight.
First one to blink.
A little bit of pepperine onto their oppositions. The Rift Herald still has not been taken, but the Dragon will eventually fall. Shanks ends up last hitting it, evens up that count at 1. Could come at the cost of this tier 1 turret, but I think overall anyone's legend generally in a good spot, as Bin is able to clear this wave out and allow for Shun to make his way towards this Herald on the top side.
I don't know if Shanks is tracking where Bin is, but can potentially cancel a TP should he go for it. Ooh, does find the recall and stop it, but it doesn't matter. Will there be a force fight here? Kael is in a great
Kael. He has a great position for a flank, and Tarzan knows it in with the Cyclone, and it's immediately followed up by Hope. A 2-for-0 as it's a double kill for the Kaisa, and Flandre flashes right over the Sand Soldiers and says, not today. It's a 3-for-0 in favor of AL. And it doesn't even matter that the Herald went over to BLG, because anyone's legends are fielded.
The next one spawning is in 3 minutes. Mid lane tier 1s are alive, as AL is forcing something onto Bin.
Landing that Q3. Bin in a precarious situation, but he throws out the all-out. Going to try to turn this 1v2. But Shanks the Soul Unbound has suddenly become very powerful. And he's able to take down Bin and zip right back to safety.
And this is the 1-3-1 nightmare scenario, when you have a solo laner who can fight both of the enemy solo lane as well. With the Blade the Ruined King, yeah, Shanks card tears through that Cassandre, as now BLG try to do the same to mid lane tower, but TP coming in.
Teleport coming in. It's going to be from both solo laners, and Hope going to try to slow down the bottom lane's retreat on already being taken out. And Shun is going to have to try to hop into this Rift Herald to go on a grand escape, but they break the car open before his very feet. And Tarzan will make it 8-1 in favor of AL.
Baron spawning in 30 seconds. I would be scared about dying here.
In they go again. Knight throws out the Emperor's Divide, but Tarzan dives right under it like he's riding a sandworm from Dune. It's 9-1 now in favor of the Pandas. And they're going to take down this mid-tier 1. That just shows you AL firing on all cylinders once again. And Shanks is at the heart of that, navigating his way against Knight. And in goes Tarzan again, landing another 2-man Cyclone onto Shun and on. They're surviving for a long time, but they have not had Hope arrive yet. They go with the Killer Instinct, but Viper's able to shut him down. And they get a second one onto Tarzan. Here comes BLG, and they're here with a vengeance. 4 kills down, and it's Shanks now trying to fight the rest of the team. But it will not matter. It is BLG with a huge punish, and they're going to get the Baron at the 22-minute mark.
Everything looked so good for AL, and then on a moment it turns. The reinforcements arrive. It's completely torn up in this fight between Viper and Knight going on him. And then it's just you're outnumbered. Shanks got pinged back over the wall. He was nowhere near to help DPS.
And look at Shun soaking up all of that damage. You see the power of that Sundered Sky, the healing doing wonders. Keep himself alive, and then, you know,
it's a proper
speaking of ascending, Knight might ascend up to another world as he is going to be in a whole lot of trouble. That interaction works well when you're in a 1v1, but maybe not in a 1v4, as the killer instinct from Hope sends him straight into a big payout of 300 gold.
And that's what we need to see if AL want to get this to a game. Saw BLG notice that window at the Baron fight and seize it to make the game even. One more play goes wrong and suddenly it's back into a winning spot.
Again. Nice, just the Emperor's Divide there by Knight this time, and Hope just gets assassinated straight into 4 members of BLG, and that killer instinct ended up killing him instead. Shanks now has to flash over the red buff wall, but he's going the wrong direction as BLG find another opening to get themselves back into this game.
3 people chasing down Shanks. He doesn't have the Baron recall. He has to fight his way if he wants any chance of survival, but it is only a matter of time until Viper finally having a Viper like...
The danger, though, of playing as BLG's composition here, Melvin, when you have a Renata ulti, a Nazir shuffle, even a knockup from Cassante or Aatrox. As soon as you press your instant all-in and that's your last dash, it becomes very difficult to play the rest of the game. And we're going to see that right here. Hope getting zoned out by Knight, but anyone's Legend still trying to force this fight. The headbutt in from Kael is big, and they should be able to take this Azir down. He lives for a little bit longer, but eventually will be Hope to issue the killing blow. Bin running out of time on his all-out, will be forced to flash away, and that is all going to be BLG retreating after losing their mid laner.
Crazy work from
the first seed in Group Ascend is delivering here in this second matchup. AL going to pick up this 3rd dragon of the game. Of this as well here, Melvin. The fact that BLG could have AL's number at least so far in this season. I wonder if that will continue to be the case around this fight.
Flandre looking. Tarzan
goes in. Really nice flash. Trying to lock down Shun, who still has not burned the ultimate. Shanks has to use the Fate Seal defensively, though. And that means that Bilibili Gaming could now go on the attack. Bin popping that control ward over the wall to get a little bit of a sense of where AL are currently situated. And with them now going back to base, potentially, it's going to be BLG starting up the Baron and canceling the recalls of AL. Likely to get a full 5v5 unless AL are content with just allowing this objective to go down. Tarzan has the Baron at 6,000 HP, has the Guardian Angel, but is afraid to go over the wall just yet. A teleport comes in with the spellbook from Kael. They've kept the Baron at 5,000, waiting for anyone's Legends to go in. Shanks goes with the Soul Unbound, but is now forced to tether back as Flandre has now overheated. In goes Knight. He goes for the shuffle, but everybody flashes away. And that is a big tool that is no longer at the BLG mid laner's disposal. He's burning down, and in goes Hope, but he goes golden at just the right time. And Viper is gone on Wolffall. It's a double kill already for the Kaisa, and Hope has found his moment. It's a triple kill for the AL bot laner, and that will be the full ace for AL.
Absolutely fantastic from AL. They let BLG draw themselves to the end of the Baron and then say, no, this is our fight. Kael had a perfect TP flank to go around the side and completely shut out any escape from BLG. Once they had walked too far, once they had stepped into AL's trap, it was all over from there. As we get the full 3 games. Hell yeah!
BLG looked like with the Baron they could shut things out, but AL had a glimmer of hope. We're going to a decider in our final series of the regular season.